Hi, I am Dr. Abbas Malik, and I am your instructor for Flutter mobile app development. This is the second part of the lecture number 5 of this series. And if you have not subscribed this channel, then please subscribe it and so that you can get the notification of the new videos. So in the last lecture, we finished our uh, video at this point when where we have completed this application, where we have used the explicit animation to make a wave type of the animation inside our application. And then we can also switch between two different views on the same page from sign up or login. And then we also see how we can use the provider package for the state management of our application or the pages or the widgets. So we have used that one. So in this application, we have first issue or the issue of the data storage. So data is not stored permanently inside the anywhere. The data that when we sign up using the sign up page or sign up view, the data like the name, email, and the password, they are saved inside the memory of, or we can say that inside the state of that application. And whenever we restart our application, that previous state is gone and it has been, the data is lost. So we don't have a way to access that previous data that we have saved inside the memory when the user sign up. So this is an issue. How we can address that? We have different ways to address that problem. We can save the data into a local storage. In the local storage, we normally save very small amount of key value pair, and then we also have we save the data in the local database like SQLite, or we can save the data inside the cloud storage or Firebase or the AWS or whatever that you like. MongoDB, you can say that, NoSQL. So we can save the data in a multiple places depending on our requirement, depending on our situation. So that is what we need to address in this new version of this login application. The next thing is, or the next issue in this application is that we are changing from the login view to the sign up view or the sign up view to the login view in the same page. Rather than we use the different pages for each operation, we are using a single page. So we can, in this demo or in this application or the improved version of this application, we will see how we can make multiple pages, and then we can move from one page to the other, and how we can handle those things. So if we want to navigate between the pages, we have two different ways inside the Flutter framework. The one is a navigator, which is a simpler linking between the pages. How we can, we can navigate from one page to the other. And there is another way, which is a router, and which is more complex. So in this video, we will target the navigator, and then later on in this course or in this video series, we will see how we can use the router as well. So, and then another way to have the multiple views inside a same application, we also have a tab, multi tabs in one of the page. At the end of this lecture or the series, and not in this video, but in the next video, we will see how we can make the use of these tab layout using the tab controllers. So whenever we are in a one tab, we have a different view. In the other tab, we have a different view. So we will see how we can handle that, how we can implement that thing. So now first thing that we need to understand what is a navigator. So navigator is more like a stacking the page on top of each other. For example, if I say that whenever we start our application, and that is will be our view, that whenever we start our application, which is the improved version of the login application, then it is always show us this login page. And using this specific code, we can create a new page, that is a sign up page, and then it will come on top of the sign in page. So that will actually, the login page will go into a stack, it will saved into a memory, and right now we are looking at the sign up page on our device. And as soon as we run this code in which we are saying that we want to pop the current page, it means the sign up page will disappear, or it will be removed from the memory or deleted from the memory, and then it will bring back from the memory or from that stack the login page and will show it to the user. So it is a simple push and pop navigation between different pages. And of course, we can also uh, send data from one page to the other as well. And that we will see once we click on the login button. We want to show a third page, which is the like, I mean, where we can pass on the login information of that user, and then we can show those information on the page. So that is the simple navigation of the pages and the sharing the data among different pages. The first thing that we need to do, we need to implement or we need to import that package. We call it a local storage package, which help us to save the key value pair. First of all, we need to add dependency inside our project. We can save the data, we can read the data, we can remove the data, we can update the data. So we can do all these, the CRUD operation, see, create, read, update, and delete operation that we can do for the databases or the cloud databases, but we can do the same thing for our local storage as well. So the local storage is only used for a very small amount of data. We can save the primitive data types like integer value, double value, Boolean value, string value, or the maximum you can say that we have a list of strings that we can save inside that storage. And it is only for a very small amount of data, not at all a large data. And especially we don't want to save the sensitive data. Sensitive data mean the information like the username and password for online service. Of course, we don't want to save in the local storage so anybody can access it and then use it. Or we don't want to save the financial information. So, I mean, we don't want to save sensitive data inside the local storage. Okay. And in the last application, we have created that user model, and this is a user model that we have here, in which one we have the three private variables, and then for each variable we need to have the set and the get methods. The what we need to add here in this application on the improved version of the application, because we want to save this data from this object, user model object, inside our local storage. So we need to make some serialization. We need to convert that data into a JSON string. Okay, so we can serialize the class into a JSON string, and we can have a JSON string, and then we can convert that into a user or model or class object. So either way, so we are converting the object of the class inside a into a JSON string, or we have a JSON string and we want to convert that into a object of a class. So we have two different ways. The first one is a manual using the Dart convert package, which is by default there. We can just import that, and then we can start using the encoding and decoding, JSON encoding and decoding based on our class. And then we also have another way, which is the automated serialization. We also have, again, this is a package which exists inside the package manager inside for the Flutter, and then we can just download, add this dependency, and then we can start using it. So because the manual will give us the more understanding how we can convert our object of the class inside the JSON string, and from the JSON string how we can convert it back into our class object. So we will look at the manual way how we can do it ourselves, and later on when our class become more complex, then of course we can use the automated serialization packages which are available on the Flutter website. So manual serialization, the first of all, I just created a what you can say that default constructor for our class user model, and then we are assigning the empty strings to all these three private variables. Then I also need to add two methods or two piece of objects, two piece of the code here. The first one is that we want to convert from the JSON into our object. So what we are receiving here, we are receiving a map which have a key and the value pair, string and the value. So this is a dynamic. Why? Because the value can be a string, value can be an integer, value can be a boolean. So based on that, we are using the dynamic, the value, the data type is different for each value. String, the first part is a string. Why? Because this is the key that will help us to from the map to find out the information from the map. For example, if we want from this map, which is a JSON map, JSON with the name JSON, if I want to find the name as a string, so we are getting this one. So we are assigning that value from that map into our name variable or name private variable, and then similarly we are getting the email from that map, and then we are assigning that value to. So we are receiving this map, string dynamic map, and then we are assigning those values to the private variables of our object. So we are actually creating the object of our class. So we are going from JSON string into our or creating our object. In the second one, we are converting our object. So we are actually we are creating a map. So look at that. We in the curly brackets here, we are creating a key value pairs. The key is name and the underscore name, whatever the value, whatever the value is exist inside the name or variable, that will be assigned to name key and email and then password. So we are creating a map, and then this method will give us back that map string dynamic, and then we can convert that into a JSON string, and then that string, because now it is a simple string, and we can save that inside the local storage. So the first one is we are converting our JSON string into the dynamic map, or the map string dynamic map, and then using that map we can create our object. And the other way, that we have the object values, and then we want to convert that into the JSON string. So this is how we written these two pieces of code inside our data model class, user model class. So inside this class, after this set and get methods, inside this class we have added these three what you can say, this code, the default constructor and these two methods, which help us to convert the object into the JSON or JSON string into the object. So how we can convert? Again, if we want to convert, then we first of all we need to import the Dart converter package or the library inside our file. And then what we need to do, we can convert. So we are saying that JSON encode user. So user is an object that we have created, or user has. Then we are converting that object inside the user JSON's str. So what it will happen? We JSON encode method, this method, JSON encode method, is coming from this convert library. So what it will take? It will take the user object, and then it will use this method to JSON, and then using this to JSON method, it will convert that specific object into a map, and then automatically this map is being converted into a JSON string by this method, which is the JSON encode. So automatically when we provide the user object, it will look at the two JSON method, and it will get the map, and then it convert that map into a string, and then it become a simple string uh, inside our project, inside our application, or inside our code. So now it is a simple string that we can even print anywhere, or we can use it anywhere. And then the next thing is that we want to what you can say, that we have a JSON string, JSON string, that is this one, and then we have a JSON decode method which convert that string into a map of the string comma dynamic. So once we have this map, using the other method from JSON, we can give that map, and then it will give me back a user object of the type user model. Okay, so in this way we can convert from the JSON string to the object, or from object to the JSON string. So these are the codes which help us to convert those things. Okay, so now how we can save this data? So let us see how we are saving it. So here we are saying that we have a add user method inside our provider class. We have a string, we have a name, we have email and the password. So these values will be coming from our input fields that we have seen earlier. So we have a name which is coming from the input field, email coming from the input field, password is coming from the input field. We are checking that if it exists. I will explain you what is an existing user. If the user is already existing, then we are saying that user is equal to user model. We are creating an empty user object, and then we say user.name is equal to name, user.email is equal to email, user.password is equal to password. The values which are coming from the input field, we are assigning those to our name, email, and the password private objects, private variables. And then once it is done, now we have the user object with the name, email, and the password, which has been given by the user inside the sign up page. Now, once we have that user object, we are converting that user object into a JSON string. And then we have a storage, local storage. And of course, we need to initialize it first at the startup of the application. And then how we will do that, we will see it. And then we are set that item. So we are giving the a name key value that we can use as a variable name to access that specific information. Then we are against that name, the information will be saved inside our local storage, and then return true, because we are saying that we have successfully added a user, or we are not unable to successfully add the user. Okay, so we are returning something on it. And then here is the what you can say, the way where we are converting that into the JSON and saving the value inside the local storage. And here is, you can say that the method which will help us to identify if the user has already been, I mean, we are just checking that if the user info exists in the local storage or not. If does not exist, we are first time running this application, then what will happen? So we are trying to access the user information, but we have not saved that information inside the local storage. So then this string, the user JSON string variable, that will be equal to null value. So if it is equal to null value, it means that we have not saved that user before, and any user before, so it will return me false. Otherwise, if it is not null, it means that we have saved some user information inside the local storage, then it will return me true. Okay, so these are the, if we want to check, where's very simple check. I mean, to be honest, I mean, we may not need that is existing, because I mean, right now I'm saying that if the user already exists, then we don't want to save the new user information. But maybe we want that we want to save every time you sign up, you say override the previous information. Okay, so that would be a possibility. Then we don't need to check is existing user. Okay, get valid user, again we need to read this look the information user info from the local storage and convert, we get that string. And if that information does not exist over there, it will give me a null value. So if it is a null value, return a null. Okay, and if it is not null, then we are converting that JSON string into a dynamic map, map, uh, key value pair, user map. And then inside the user map, we are checking that email address and the password which is given by the user in the sign or login page, then are they equal to this specific what you can say that are they equal to this one. And then if they are equal, then we are returning the object of that user model class containing the user information like name, password, and email. Okay, and I think that we also need to add the else part, so that in case the username and password they are not right, then we need to return the null value. Okay, but yeah, we can add it inside our so we are trying to get the information out, and then we are converting that into a map, and then we are verifying that the email and the passwords are correct, and then we are returning the object of the class to the back to the. Okay, so let me quickly jump into that the VS Code, and then I want to create a new window, and then I bring that window here, and now we want to create that application. So first of all, and I will say that we want to Flutter. We need to say Control Shift P so that we can come into and Flutter. No, let me check. Control Shift P, Flutter, new project. So we select the new project, then we have select new application, and then where we want to take it. So I want to take into the mobile code application, and then we go into the Flutter app development, and because it is the this is where we want to save our data or save our application. So we will say that it is a lecture 05, and it is a sign in underscore sign up multi page application. Okay, so that is our application. When I press enter, it will start making that application for me. Okay, so and let me run that emulator as well so that we can see how it looks like inside the emulator. It is coming on my other screen and I bring it here. Okay, so it is in the process of what you can say that starting up. So let me close that AI mode, and now you can see that our application is ready. So if I look at that again, it will give me the default values. I just try to make that thing here, and then I also don't want that yeah, so we don't need these classes. What we will do, we will create our own page. So first of all, inside the lib, I am creating a new folder. We say pages, and I'm also creating another folder. We call it widgets. And what else? We also need to have that model. So we say models, and then inside the model. So what I will do, I will just try to, remember that we have the animated top. So I will just copy that file from the other project, and then I paste that here. So, and then I can explain you. So we already know about that. It is a wave widget, so we need it. So we also get that wave widget file and then copy it here. Okay, let me paste it. And then, of course, what we need here, we also have a clipper. We have a clipper or class that we need to copy here. So let me paste it here. We have already seen these classes before. So of course we will say wave widget. So automatically it will import the new one, and then we don't need this one. Again, we don't need this one. And then here, wherever the error is, we will try to have the clipper widget. We enter it. So now if you can see that the error is gone away. But here we still have not created a page. So, but yeah, we will do that shortly. And okay, so I will also use the same widgets that we have used for the button and the what you can say, that's change widget, and then we also have the sign in widget and the sign up widget. I think that sign in and sign up widgets are also the same. The only thing is that we are not using in the same page, other than we are using in the, and then we also have a text. So let me copy these widgets as well. We already have that one, sign in, sign up, and then this one. I copy these widgets here as well, and then paste here. So now you can see that it say that you need to have that model class. We don't have these ones yet, and so that's why we will have the problems. But don't worry about that. We will solve these problems. But just right now, I'm deleting these imports which are not relevant. The first thing that, first of all, I need to come into the pub spec YAML, and then remember that we need to add some dependency here. So we can open our terminal, and then we can add the dependency. We need to add two dependency, Flutter, pub add, and then we have the provider. Okay, and then we also have the local storage. So when I press enter, it is what happened here? Let me check. So we have the provider and the local storage. So it added all of them, but why it is giving me build the plugins requires Simulink support. Okay. So, but anyway, so we will just run that thing. Okay. So once we have imported our libraries, which is the provider and the local storage. So now I can come down here because it is a text field. So I say text field because we have already text field widget, and then we also need to have more. Okay, this is related to the provider class. So again, if I just try to bring that user model first of all inside our models, and then I paste thing here, and then if I, where is my model? No, I don't want to do that. I just want to have that user model that is going to come inside in this folder. So if I look at this user model, we have the user model class in which we are defining these variables. And then inside these variables, we are putting the user model. This is a default constructor. And then we are, rather than, making that private and having uh, having these get and set methods, I just simply make them the public ones, and then we can access it anywhere and wherever we can access this class. So we are then we are written these methods. This one is that we are taking the map, and then we are creating the object of this class, and from this one it will take the values from this object of the current object of the class, and then return me a map of string dynamic values. Okay, so this is has been implemented, and now we need to go into our main class. The first thing that we need to do here is that we need to write some code here right in the main method. So first of all, what I am saying, I say widget flutter binding dot ensure initialize. So we want that everything is initialized properly. Number two, we want await, and because this function is not async, so first of all, we need to make async so that we can use the await keyword. So we say init local, we can say init local storage. Why it is not coming up? We need to import that one undefined function. Yes, because this is coming from the local storage. So what was the problem here? Please enable developer mode in your system setting. Run the okay. Resolving dependencies. We have a provider. We have a local storage. Okay, and four packages. So let me run the Flutter pub get. It is getting that one. So we say init. Why it is not bringing me that local storage? So let me say that if I want to import local storage, package local storage, okay, dot, and then I say init local storage. So I need to normally when you write this, when automatically import the local storage, but now we need to do it by ourselves. But anyway, so what we are doing, we are saying that we want to use this, ensure that everything initialized. We await for the local storage to be initialized, and after that, rather than I say that I want to what you can say that I want to start that application directly, I want to put that into a multi. Again, that multi-provider is not coming up. The reason is that we need to import the things by ourselves. There are some, I think that because of these errors, it is not working. So we need to, uh, by ourselves, we can say that we want to import the provider, and then we have a provider dot, and then we have a multi-provider. And inside, we can provide the providers like this, and we can also have a child, that is this, and then here we can put our application, and inside the provider we need to provide that change notifier and the create the home model, but we have not created the home model yet. So what we can do, let me quickly bring that model from, and then I can explain you what happened over there, or maybe I can, let me uh, paste it here, and then I can explain what is happening in this one. And of course we don't need this one, and then we can, wherever we are using the where is the errors. I mean, we need to create the, so here, so we say user model, so it automatically import that file for me. So what I'm doing here inside, we have a local storage object that we want to have inside our home model, or the provider, which is extends from the change notifier. We have already used it, so you know that very well what that change from notifier is. So inside the when we are creating this class, we are initializing that storage object with our local storage. So what I need to do here, I need to come down here. I say change notifier provider, and then we need to create. So we can do underscore, and then we can say that we want to create the, we want to create that home model. Okay, and yep, so we can save it. And why to say expect, or we want to have that one here, so that's okay. We, okay, so we fix the problems. And we also have problems in the sign up. So we have a text field widget. We will try to say context watch, and then we say home model. Once we do that, it will work fine. So we also need to have that provider. So let me put the watch, enter, so you can see that. And then every all the problems gone away from the sign up widget. What we need the, where are the problems? So we have a change widget, so we have a change widget that we need to import. Similarly, in the text field, we need to have a provider dot off, and then we also need to have a home model. Okay, so once we do that, the problems go away. So far we don't have any problem. So now what I will do, I will just try to close these. Okay, we also have some problems here. And here what we need, we have a watch, and then we also need to have a home model imported here. What else? We also need to have a change widget. We need to change widget imported, and then of course we need to have a sign up page, which is we have not which is not there yet. Okay, so now we have the problems in the sign up widget, and then we also have the sign in widget and the sign up widget. Sign up widget, we are not using it, so we say that one. So now here, I inside the pages, I want to create a new file, and then I name it is a sign in underscore page dot doc. So inside, again, this particular specific uh, is what you can say that it is a stateful widget. So we say STF, and then we make it. So this is our sign in page, and then we save it. And then inside the sign in page, if we look at our structure, we have two input fields. I mean, if I just go back to my slides, here they are. So if I just go back to the previous one, okay, anyway, so let me go to that specific part, and we are, I mean, storing the things. And this is the point. So we have two input fields, and for those two input fields, remember that we have two text controllers. So we are going to we are, this is our widget, which is the not going to change, but inside our state we want to create these objects. We say late, and then we say text editing controller. So we say email controller is equal to, we can just simply say this, and then we say late, and then we say again text. Let me copy, rather than I say Alt Shift down arrow, and then rather than having the email, I say password controller. So we have these two controllers, and then what we need to do, we need to override our init state. And then inside the init state, what we need to do, we need to create these controllers. So we say that uh, email controller is equal to text editing controller. Okay, and then let me make it this, and then I say password controller. So we have these two controllers, and because we are creating these controllers, we also need to have the method, which is the dispose method, in which we are going to dispose these controllers. So we say email controller dot dispose, and we can put the semicolon at the end. Then we have the password controller dot dispose, and so we are disposing. So we are initializing on the create init state, and then at the end, when we are finishing or we are closing our application, when this page is being closed or destroyed, then it automatically dispose these controllers. So this is the one thing that we want to do here. Now let's go back, and the other thing, let me go quickly here, and I just try to, what you can say, that change widget on the push. I will just try to just to make sure that this error go away. We will come back later, and then here, rather than creating this what you can say, that the home, so I will say sign in page. Okay, so now if I just try to uh, where is my other, and where is my here, so I will just try to make this thing here so we can see when we run the application how it look like. Right now in the sign up we have a placeholder, and then when we run the application inside our Android emulator, so it will take some time to before it can run. Okay. I'm still working on first time. When it is running, it takes a little bit longer time. So let me, in the meantime, try to make the things here. So here inside our, what you can say, that inside our sign up page, we want to use a scaffold. So we say scaffold, and inside the scaffold, we only have a body, and inside the body, we have a stack. And inside a stack, we have some children that, I mean, first children is animated top widget. So do we have the animated top widget? Yes, it is there. Animated top widget. So when I do that, it asks me that you need to give me the title. So what is the title? Because it is a sign in page, so we say sign in. And then what is the size? Size, I can say that which is the size. So size I need to get from our media query, So I can just simply come inside this method. I say final, and then I say size is equal to media media query dot of, and then we can say context, and inside the context I say dot size. So we are passing that size to this one, so we have that size. The other thing that we want to check, if the our the boolean, our the variable, so we say final bool, and then we are saying keyboard, or the keyboard open, and then we can check. So if I say again media query dot off, media query, media query and dot off, and we say context, and then we say dot view insets dot bottom is actually is greater than 0, then it will give me a true value or false value. So as soon as I give that one, So you can see that it is giving me that specific. So I mean, right on the first value that we put here is this. So it show me that, I mean, we are using the animated widget. Inside the animated widget, we are saying that if we have a container with the height, which is coming from, yeah, like if you look at that, this is the location, this is the, what you can say, that the height is minus 200. So height is from this point up to the height, and the color is this. And then we also have the animated positioned, and then we say duration is this. We are talking about the keyboard is open or not. If the keyboard is open, it will automatically move that height to the lesser sign, and then it will go up, as we have seen in the previous video. We have seen that in the previous video. And then we have a padding. Then we are also actually using some other animated positioned, and then we have the padding. Then what else we are imported inside this one? So we also imported a wave widget. So let me go to the wave widget. Inside the wave widget, we are actually creating that wave, a sine wave with the different height and the width values. So we are creating that one. So this is, let me, okay, all good. So looks fine. So we are here. And after that, I want to add a padding, after this animated widget, I want to have a padding. And inside the padding, I will say that we have the uh, uh, padding is equal to uh, edge insets and sets all. And then we can say we want to leave some 30 point. Okay, so this is what we have here. And then inside this one, I say child is actually a column. And inside the column, we have the values, which are the, I mean, we want to have the column, and not this one. I need to put these brackets. And then inside we have the sign in widget. What is happening here? We are inside a column. We need to provide these, say that we have a children, and then inside I say sign in widget. So when I say sign in widget, so it should may give me the email controller or the password controller. So I think that we have already provided that. Email focus, I mean, I don't have provided this one yet. So let me remove sign in user password. Okay, so we don't want to do these things yet. So we can do that. And then I need to go into the sign in widget, and then I need to change a few things here because I don't want to have these values. So I will just make them this. I will explain you a little later that what is that meaning, you know. And then of course we need to make this one as well. And then we can simply say that request a focus. There's nothing there. Here again, and then this one is there. So what is happening? Widget parameter focused. Okay, so we did that. And then we need to go into the text field widget, and then we can say that we don't have this one, we don't have this one, and then we have don't this one and not this one. And similarly, we can comment out these things. So what is happening here actually, when we are inside the input field, then when we press enter, it actually execute this part on submitted. Okay. So when it is on submitted, so has the on focus node. So we are shifting when we are in the email, and then we press enter, we are shifting the focus from email to the password. And when we are in the password, then we are shifting the focus from password, and we are executing that sign in method, because we need to provide two values. One is the email, the second one is the password. And once you have press enter in the password, it automatically execute the on submit method. So on submitted, then we will try to implement that sign in option, rather than you click on the sign in button and then it will do that. So we are trying to implement that behavior, that whenever we are, so if we just try to uncomment these things, then you can, okay, I don't want to do that. I say Control Z. Okay, so we have in this thing, so named parameter focus node is required. So we need to make sure that we are doing it. Okay, and then we are also unfocusing it. Okay, and let me explain you that thing. So I will just make this thing work like this. So here we are sign in widgets, and in the sign in widget we need to provide that controllers as well. So focus mode for the email focus node, and then of course we need to have that one here inside. So we are saying that we want to have a late, and then we say focus node, and we say email focus node. And then similarly, let me quickly make a copy of that one and then say password focus node. When have a password focus nodes, we also need to create the, we say email focus node is equal to focus node. And then we need to create the same for the password focus node, not controller, password focus node. So, and then we can pass these email focus node, and then password focus node is the password focus node. So we have provided, and then we also need to provide the sign in user. So actually the sign in user is a method that is going to perform the things for us. So let me put that method here. So I will explain that. Then we have a home page. We don't have the home page right now, so let me put it like this. Uh, let me, because we have not, so we have a user model. We use a model, then we also have a read method which is coming from the provider, then we also have the home model. Now we are all set. So what we are providing here, we say sign in user underscore sign in user. We need to give the same name. So we say sign in, so it is a capital I. Okay, so we are providing that one. So as long as we are doing it, so here we have the, again, we need to provider, and then we also need to have a home model. So as soon as we do that, it is giving me an error message, it has not been initialized. Okay, so what is that? Email focus node. Email focus node is equal to email focus node is equal to focus node. So we are initializing it. What is the problem here? Okay, so we have initialized late, and then we are putting the email. So let me, what you can say, that refresh my application and see what is happening here. So now we can see that we are getting these emails, but why it is going inside that? So we have the, we are in the sign in page, then we have the uh, stack, then inside the stack we have the children. So let me go back into the sign in page. And then the other thing that we also need to do is we also need to say email focus node dot dispose. We also need to dispose these focus nodes as well. So we have a password focus node and dot dispose. So we need to dispose that one, and then we will come here and then see what is the problem. So we are inside our animated the children's of the stack, and then here we are putting these things. So rather than here, I am going to do that. So we need to assign certain, alignment. So I say main axis alignment, and then I say main axis alignment dot end. When I do that, you can see that our email and the passwords are coming at the bottom of the page. And similarly, let me put one more. I think that's fine. So we don't need to worry about that. Okay, so we put that alignment so automatically, because it is a vertical alignment. So the vertical direction is the main axis. So we are saying put it at the end. So it will go to the bottom of the page. The next thing that we need to add inside this, what you can say that a column is the sized. I mean, I'm just trying to leave some space. Okay, so we have this is the sign in page. We leave in some space here. So after that, we are putting this one. So again, it leaves some space. And then I also want to put a button widget again. Okay, so inside the button widget, so again, we need to button, which we already created here. So I mean, that is the same widget that we have used in the previous one. The only thing I have changed here, we have a title, which is a sign up, and when we are on press, it will execute this method for me. So I will explain you that method once. I think that it is done in the part of the sign in page. And now I want to explain you. So first thing is that when you click on the sign in, or you are entering, if I just go back into the sign up with, not the sign up widget, sign in widget, this is the this one is the text. So this is our sign in widget. So inside the sign in widget, you know, this is our sign in widget. Okay, inside the sign in widget, again we have a column, and then we also say the cross axis alignment is to the end, and then we have a text field. This is the first text field which is belongs to this email address. Okay, that email input field. And in the input email field, whenever we are submitting, so we are saying that focus node of context request focus to the password. So whenever we press enter here, like when I do that, look at that, automatically the focus is shifting from the email to the password node. So again, I am here inside email. When I press enter, the focus is shifting from the email to the password. So that is what this on submit button is doing. So whenever on submitted, when we press enter inside the input field, it automatically execute the on submitted, uh, uh, and then the value is actually whatever the value is inside this field, that is the value. But right now we are not using that value because we have a controller to control that value or access that value. So we don't need to worry about that, but we want to shift the focus from the email field to the password field. That is what we are doing here. And the other than that, we have the email, that's a hint obscure. We don't want to obscure the information. Then we have these are exactly the same that we have seen before. And the value that is going come here, it's like verify email. So whenever, I mean, we are putting here, so this is becomes a red, what you can say, red border, because of this value is valid email or not. And if I put a valid email here, not here, I mean, I need to put here. As soon as I give a valid email, now you can see that this has been turned from red to the back to the normal or the blue color. When I press enter, my shift is again. So again, this field is the password field, and inside the password field, we are doing exactly the same thing. I mean, if we want to obscure the value, or we want to not obscure that the contents of this password, and then on the submitted, what we are executing the sign in user. Once we press enter inside the, for example, if I do that, and then not here, here inside the password field, when I press enter, it say that sorry, you have failed to log in, because when it's try to check the email and the password, they do not match, and when they do not match, it will give me the a snack bar information that sorry, you are not logged in. Okay, so now, once we understand this part, and then of course at the end we have a change. Sign up. When I click on it, I want to open the sign up page, because I don't have the sign up page. So let me quickly create that sign up page. So we say sign up underscore page dot, and then again it is a state full widget, and then it is a sign up page, and then we do that. And now I can come down here inside the sign in widget and I can remove that part. But of course, I need to sign up page. So when I do that, now everything. So when I click on it, then it will take me to the sign up page, of course. And because we are, no, we can, I think that, yeah, we can drag it to the left so that it will remove. And then we are come back to this one. So up to this point, so we have done in the sign up widget. So now we come back to the sign up page. So what is happening inside this sign in widget? So we are getting the email value and the password value from these text fields using the controllers which has been assigned to these text fields. And then we are creating a user model object from the get valid user. So we say get valid user, and then we are passing the email and this one. This get valid user is coming into this method here. Okay, let me open up this one is existing. So here we are in this method. So what it will take, it take the email value and the password value as an input, and then it try to read the user information from that specific local storage. And because the local storage is there is no information like this. First of all, okay, there is no information. So what will happen? It will return me a value which is null. So because this value is null, it return me a null value. And when it return me a null value, we are checking here. If it is return me a null value, we go into the else part, and then we show this message that you have seen. So if I just press enter one more time, you can see, sorry, you failed to log in, please try again. So this is coming from this part. So if we already saved the information, then of course we will be able to log in into that system. So we will see that how we can do that. We also have a home page. Okay, so let me create okay, let me go on the sign up page and then work on that sign up page. Okay, so in the sign up page, again, we also need the controllers and the focus nodes for each of the. So we have the email address, we have the name, so we have a name, we have email address, password, and the confirm password. So we have 4 input fields. So what we can do, we can say late, and then we can create the uh, text editing controller. So we say name controller, and then we can just make it this one, and then we say email. I will just do that, and then I just replace the email, and then I do that, and then I say password, and then I do that again, and then I say uh, confirm and make the password be capital. So then we say a late, and then we say focus node, and then we say name focus node. Okay, and then I just need to make the copy. So we say email focus node, then we say password focus node, then we can say we want to we alt shift down, and then we say that confirm and make the capital P. So we confirm focus node. The other thing that we need to do, we need to say init. We need to override the init state, and inside the init state, we need to initialize this name controller. Name controller is equal to text editing controller, and then put this one, and then I just try to make the copies of these, and then I say email, then I say that password email. Okay, we have this email, email. Okay, email. Okay, the spellings were wrong in the email, so let's password, and then we can say that confirm password controller, and then we may say name focus node is equal to uh, focus node, and we can do that, and then we can just make the copies of that one. Then we say email, and then we can say that password. Okay, and then we can say that confirm password no focus node. We don't have a controller, we have a password focus node. So we have initialized these values. Once we have initialized, it means that we need to have also dispose of these values. So how we can do that? Again, we need to override the dispose method inside the class, and then we can say that name controller dot dispose, and then we can say password controller dot dispose. Then we can say we also have an email controller dot dispose, and then we also have the confirm password and controller dot dispose, and then we also have the name focus mode dot dispose. Then we have the email focus node dot dispose, and then we have the password focus node dot dispose, and then we have the confirm password not dispose. So we have disposed everything. So that's initialization and disposition all done. Now we can come here and then we can start making our application. So, the GUI for the sign up page. Okay, so let me click on that. So when I do that, so we are here right now. And then we want to, again, we have a scaffold. So we put a scaffold. Inside the scaffold, we have a body. Inside the body, we want to put a stack. Then inside the stack, we say we have a children, and the children's are like animated top widget, and then inside we are putting the title. Here the title is sign up, and the size is equal to, of course, we need to get the size from our, so we say final size, not sign up, size is equal to, not size is equal to media query dot off, and then we say context and we say dot size. So we put enter. So we already done that, and then we can say that final. We have a bool uh, keyboard open. Okay, and then we are assigning that value to that. If the media, let me copy this thing from here. Dot view insets is dot bottom is greater than 0, then we are assigning these values. So now we have that sign up widget as well. So in after this, what you can say that animated widget, we have a padding again. We have a padding, and inside a padding we say adds insets dot all, and then again we have a 30.0. And then inside the padding, we also have the child, and that child is actually a column, not compound, we say column. And then inside the column, again, we have the children, and inside the children, we say sign up widget, and inside the sign up widget we need to give these values. So we have the name controller, we also have the email controller, we also have the password controller, confirm password controller, then we have these focus nodes, and then we also have the sign up user method. So sign up user method is actually is a method that we are going to check here. So we just, I'm copy pasting from the other, and then I can explain you the things. So first of all, we have the sign up user. So we need to give this one. Okay, this is all good. And then we, of course, we have a read method, uh, and then we need to import the form model. Okay, once we've done that, if we look at that again, what we need to do here inside the column, we say main axis. Uh, we need to say main axis alignment. That will be a main axis alignment dot end. When I do that, it automatically go down. So that is okay. And now let me explain you this sign up user method. So in this sign up user method, what we are doing, first of all, we are getting the name, email, and the password values from this, from these texts. And then we are saying that is valid. The I mean read homemade is valid, is a valid email, is the valid password, is valid confirm password. So actually in this method provider class we have these state methods here. So first of all, is visible, okay, is visible, is visible. So we have some verification, is valid email. So remember that we have set is valid email is equal to okay, with this, these are the set and get method. So here we have the let me go back here. The first thing that we are checking inside the sign in, let me what we can say that move it here, close it down. Then we also have the sign in. Let me close it down. And then we have the sign in text field sign up widget. So inside the sign up widget, where is the page? We open that page here. And in the open page, we say is valid. So first of all, we say is valid. Okay, is valid mean that we are checking this, where is the is valid email, and then we have is valid. So we say get is valid. Is valid mean that we are checking set is valid. So we are getting this valid. Okay, is a valid thing. Everything is valid. Okay, number one thing, for example, this one is representing that is valid. So if email is valid, so we are uh, where is we are checking it. We are checking. We are applying that thing. Verify email. Okay, and then we have the verify password. So here we are say verify email is valid. Confirm password is valid password. Again, this is the setters and the getter methods. Okay. So here we are verifying the email. So inside the email, we are verify that it should have the capital and the small letter. It should have at least one letter, one number, and then it should also have a special character inside it. So we are validating that specific email address. So here we are checking that is valid email. Okay. So if the email is valid or not. Number two thing, we say verify the password. So I mean here we say email. Email is more like Abbas at gmail.com. So it is like that. So it will make sure that that pattern has been observed. And then here we are checking that inside the password you must have at characters, small letters. We also have the capital letters. We must have the one number inside it, and then we also have the special characters inside it. And the length should be greater than or 8. So, I mean, it should not have length less than 8. And then it should have the small letter, capital letter, as well as the digit, as well as the. So we have applied these specific rules on the password verification. Then we can confirm password that the password in these two fields, password and the confirm password, they should be equal or the same. So again, that is what we are doing here. So I mean, I think that if I put a here, so actually here, valid name is at least 3 character long. Okay, so with validity of this one is the is valid, and then we have the validity of the email. Then we have validity of the is valid verify email and verify the password and then verify the confirm. So once we have confirmed everything is correct, for example, if I just do that, Abbas at gmail.com, and then I say password ASDF capital G 1234 and then dollar sign. So ASDF capital G 1234 dollar sign. So and I mean now you can see that our so we are using that. So when I press enter here, remember when I press enter here, it will automatically bring me to the email. When in the email I press the enter, it will take the focus to the password. When I press enter here, it will take the password. And now if I press enter here, it will execute the sign up method or sign it this method this one sign up user method. Okay, it will execute that. So what we are checking here, if everything is valid inside our fields, then we are going to check, we want to add a user. So here is the add user method here. So here we are checking that if existing. So I can simply say that rather than I say if existing, I can put these things here and I can just try to make this thing like this. And if this is the case, then what will happen? Every time we come up here, we give the new user and it will override the previous information, which is the user info inside our local storage. So the other thing is, did I initialized the local storage? Yes, I have initialized the local storage. And then inside our constructor, we have assigned that local storage as a, local storage. And then using the local storage, what we are doing here, where is the add method here? So we are getting the name, email, and the password from our page, and then we are say user is equal to new user. Of course, when we create it, it automatically create an empty user with the empty name, empty email, and the empty password. So what we are say, whatever the user dot name assign this value, which is coming from the field, email again assign the value which is coming from the email field, and the password assign the password value to the password which is coming from the input fields. And then we say string, we are converting that object which is a user object into a JSON encoder. So we use the JSON encoder from our convert library and convert that into a JSON string. And once it is a string, I can save that string inside our local storage. So using this local storage, we say set item. We are saving the item as a username, user underscore info, and then assign the value to this one. So whenever we want to read it back, user info, it will give me back the same string. So that is, if it is successful, it will return me true. And now let me quickly enter it. And now you can see that, wow, Abbas, you have successfully signed up. And then go to the login page. If I come up here inside this method, if it is give me the true value here, it will come down here and then show me that scaffold message as a snack bar. And then say, wow, you have signed in. Go to the login page. And when I click on the login page, actually it will pop the current sign up page, and then it will show me the login page. So now we are in the login page. Now Abbas at gmail.com is already given. Now I just give the password ASDFG and 1234 and dollar sign. So when I click on the sign up or I press enter, then it will come here in the sign in page. Let me close that editor and then open the sign in page. In the sign in page, what we are doing here, either we can show the scaffold, if I just that and I press enter here, so it will, wow, you have successfully logged in. Okay, so now if we stop that application, if I stop that application, this information is still there. So I can just stop the application. Now application is gone. I come into the main dot and then run the application again. When I run the application again, I can use the same information inside the local storage, and then I can sign in. So we can, it will come down here, get valid user. It will try to read the information, user underscore info we have saved in the previous run of the application, and then it will check that if it is null, otherwise run null. So let me abbs at gmail.com, and then I say ASDF capital G 1234 and dollar sign, and then when you sign in, so now you can say you have successfully. So from the previous run of the application, it has the local data has been stored over there. And now if I just go there, if I just try to enter now, it will say sorry, you are not, because the password is and the emails are not matching. Okay, so this is what is happening here. So the other thing is that rather than show that snack bar, I want to create another page. Inside I want to pass this user information, and then I say our home underscore page dot. Okay, so here it is a stateless widget. Okay, and this is our home page. After the login, after the user validation, we have a home page, and inside the home page I have a final uh, user model, and then this is our user model. And then what I need to do, I need to say it is a required field, this dot user model. So then I do that, and then I can come to the sign in page. Okay, let me Here is the sign up page. Here is a sign in page. So, so rather than I use the snack bar, use this snack bar, this one, I scan it out and then I say that I want to do that. So if I, because we have this user, we already have this user, which we have read from our local storage and then convert that into a user object. Now I say home page and then I do that. And here, rather than having this one, we have a user model. So we pass on the user value. And once we have passed this user value, I come in down here and then I, rather than I say, I have a scaffold. Inside the scaffold, I have a body. And then inside the body, I can put what you can say that uh, center. And inside the center, we have a child, which is a uh, column. And inside the column, I have children. And inside the children's, I have what you can say that a text field. Okay. And inside the text field, I say user model dot name, which show me that username and model dot name, and then we say text, and then I say user model dot email, and then I say that again a text, and then I say user model dot password. Of course, we don't want to show the password, but yeah, no, I mean, just this is not very. So, and then I can have what you can say that filled button, and when we press this thing, it will execute a method for me. And inside the okay, we say button. What I want. Okay, let me quickly, what you can say that we already have this button widget. So inside the button widget, we need to give the title and the on press event. So we can use that one rather than we say we have a button widget and then we need to give a title. We say sign out, we want to sign out. And then when we press on it, we want to execute the function here. The same thing that we have been using in the let me close. Okay, close. So we have the close again. Let me close it. Okay, we have a sign up. Then we, okay, so we say that we want to close it. And then we have a sign up. In this sign up, we have a method which is what is happening here. When it is a scaffold, we want to do that floating else here. Okay, where is that? Yeah, navigation dot pop. So we can do that. So inside the home page, when we are press on the sign out, it will some pop up that for me. So now if I just give the values Abbas at gmail.com, and then I say 1 to ASDF G1234, and then this. When I sign in, sorry, you logged in. So let me check Abbas at Gmail, or we need to provide the AIL. Okay, so and sign in. So now you can see that it show me the information. It is going into the scaffold body center. So why it is not coming in? So let me main axis uh, alignment, main axis alignment dot center. When I do that, so we get this one. When I put the sign out button, so it will bring me back to the sign in page. So you can see that how we can move between different pages. And inside it is say that because we are not using that specific method anymore inside, so that is the reason that it is telling me that this method is not being used. So that is a warning message. So that is fine. The one more thing that I want to check. So first of all, whenever now I sign up with a different user, for example, um, Moise, and then we say Moeez at gmail.com. The password is ASDN. capital G 1234 dollar, and then same as here ASDF capital G 1234 dollar. And when we press enter, so why it is not showing me when I press enter? Please provide all the information. So why it is, I say sign in, sign up. What has happened with the sign up page? So sign up page, did we put the button here? We have a sign in widget, but we did not put the sign up. What you can say that the sign up. We have not put that button over there. So what I need to do? Let me put it quickly, and I just do that. And then we also have a button widget, and then we have a sign up, and then we get it. But what is I say Moez Moez, and then I say Moez at gmail.com. Press enter. ASDFG1234 and dollar sign ASDF capital G1234 and dollar sign. So I hope that everything is okay. And then when you sign up, I mean, we have been signed up. I go to the login page, so we are here. So as soon as I come here and then I give the uh, moec at gmail.com and then ASDFG and 1234 and dollar sign, and I press enter, it take me to that one and then sign up. So we can always, I mean, if I can just stop the application and then rerun that application again, so we can still access that local storage, and then we can use the moise at gmail.com to sign in into that application. Okay, so I will show you quickly, but I will show you a problem with the web, because in the web we have some problem, and how we can fix it I will show you that shortly. So again, let me check again, moez at gmail.com, and then we have password and press enter. When press enter, we are sign out and sign in. So now rather than I run this application here, so let me quickly what you can say that stop that thing. Okay, and now I select the device as a Chrome. And if I look at the Chrome, now I have selected Chrome as my device. And now if I run the application, it will run inside the Chrome, you know. So we have to wait till it make the things for the Chrome, and then it will work. And then I will show you how you can fix the problem. Let me come down here. Actually, this is what we need to do. So every time when you run the application inside a browser, it run on a different port. So when it changed the port, the previous state of the application is being what you can logged with that port. And then every time you are running the application inside the browser, it always runs on a different port. When it runs on a different port, it create a problem. We cannot access the previous local storage. So we need to make sure that every time it run on the same port. So that's why we need to add a file inside our project, or in the root, web underscore dev underscore click, and then we need to write this server ports equal to 8080, and then it will always run using these configurations. Whenever it is running on the browser, it will use the same port of 8080. So when it is using the same port, we can access our. So let me quickly see. Yes, it is coming up here, and you can see that it is coming up here. Let me make it like that, and then I can show you the local storage here. We can go into the dev tools, and inside the dev tools we need to find out the application tag. It's application, and then here we have a local storage. And if you look at that, this time it is running on the port number 13203. So remember this port number 1 13,203 as a port number. And then now if I just sign up here, And when you click on the sign up, so you have signed up successfully. And now you can see that here it is showing up in the local storage, this number, this value. When I go here and I can use that one to log in. When I press enter, I can see all those things. Everything is working. But when I stop that application, I come back here, I stop that application, where is my here? So I will just stop that application. And now if I run that application again, I stopped it. So it just has been stopped. So now I go back here and run that application again. Now definitely it will come more quickly as compared to last time when we are running for the first time. So let's wait for it appearing. So now we can look at that, the port number. It was 13,000, now at 52,293. And if I try to look at the developer tools in the application tab and then look at the local storage, there is nothing there. So we cannot reuse this thing. So what I need to do, what is the problem, how we can solve the problem? I right click on the main, okay, not in any folder. Inside the main, I create a new file and then name it web underscore dev underscore config dot yaml. When I do that, we need to select the server, and then inside the server, I need to put that port colon 8080 colon 8080. So every time it is going to run on that one. So I stop that server, then store that application. And now once I have created this one, I can run the application. So it is coming up. So it will all look at the, if you look at the down there, it's a loaded configuration from the web server web dev underscore config.yaml. So it go into this file and whatever the configuration that we have made, it will open that on the 8080 port. And now if I just try to, what you can say that, let me open up the dev tools for this one. And then I say local storage, there is nothing yet. So I will just quickly give the information. So we have this one. When I sign up, you can see that it is giving me the values. And then I can go to a login page. I can log in. So I can use that login. So if I just come back here, I stop my application when I stopped it, and then I want to run it again. When I run it again, let's see if we can see our local storage over there. Again, it is going to the our web dev config file, and then using that configuration, it is going to execute that it will run that application in the browser, and definitely it will using the same port 8080. Again, let me go back and check that if our local storage is still there. So now you can see that our local storage is still there. So now I can use the same credential which I used before, that. So that fix our problem for the browsers. For the Windows, it's okay. For the devices, it's okay. Local storage work fine. But when we are running in the browser, every time we run the application, rerun the application in the browser, it run on a different port, and that creates a problem with the local storage. So we can fix this problem using that specific part. So I hope you have enjoyed this thing. So and then persisting the data, again, we can show this thing. This is the web dev config file which we have created, and then we have put this information inside it. And then we have passing data between the pages. We have already seen that part. Passing the data, yes, we have seen that thing. And then the other packages that we can use for the local storage, it is a shared preferences. Shared preferences is made by the Flutter team itself, and that is managed by themselves. And the local storage is actually in the background using the shared preferences. Okay, so we also have a secure storage. I mean, right now, I mean, if you look at our application, so I can, and anybody can see that information which are there. So we, that's why we don't want to save the sensitive information inside the local storage. But if you want to make it secure, you know, you want to encrypt the data and so on, so you can use a different way. The other state management, for right now, for the state manage, we have used the provider package. It is an inherited widget. We can access that state anywhere inside our application in any widget that we want. We just need to use that context dot and so on. So, or we can read or wash method we can use from our provider package, and then we can access the state. So there are some other ways. We also have seen the set state. Set state is more like the very basic in the state full widget. We can access the state, we can set that state, we can update the informations. That is a very simple approach, which work only in one widget, in the stateful widget. Provider give you a application state which you can access anywhere inside your application. Then we also have a river port. It is a more robust and the compile time safe alternative that removes the reliance on the build context. If we look at the provider, we based on the context of the application, the build context, we need to always access the context.watch, context.read. So rather than have a heavy reliance or dependency on that context, build context. But Riverport removes that reliance on the build context to access provider. It is the modern default for the projects due to its performance, testability, and low boilerplate codes. And the other thing is the same team which has provided our provider package, the same team is has provided this Riverport, and they are also recommending that rather than use the provider, use the Riverport. But and for the provider, we have a the scalability is low. I mean, if you look at that, it's a small scale application, not a very large scale applications, but still it works to manage the state of the application. But Riverport give you from the medium to the large scale applications. And the third method or the fourth method is actually a blog business logic component. That is also what you can say that it is more like an enterprise level state management for the application, like Uber or the Uber Eats or the big companies when they have a lot of traffic, millions of users, and so on. So in that case, we have the business logic. So in the coming weeks, we will see how we can use a Riverport or the blog, but definitely these are the state management method which exist so far. The other thing is persisting data. Again, the local storage or the local database, SQFlight or the cloud database or the REST API. So, I mean, all these REST API is not kind of a persisting the data. It is more like we are trying to get the data which has been saved by the others. We are online, we are getting some information like the weather information, some news information we can access from the other people, and then we can use them. On top of that data, we can build our services in our application. But this is a local storage where we are saving this is data in our local device. This is our local database where we are saving the data inside our local database, and then we have cloud database and this data storage where we are saving the data. Here REST API, we are just trying to access the data, read the data, and then based on that we are building the application for us, services for our users. And then this is the application, because right now we are already in 1 hour and 33 minutes video. So next in the next video, the last video for the lecture number 5, we will build this expense tracking app from the scratch. Okay, so that is all for this lecture, and then wait for my next video where we are going to build that expense application from scratch, from zero, and then we'll see how we can build everything together. Of course, we will be using the provider, but maybe let me see if I can use the Riverport so that we can get a different flavor for the state management. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you very much.